Okay, hello teachers. Welcome back to another segment of Classroom Management by Design for the primary teacher. I have a little bit of a stuffy nose, so bear with me if I sound a little crazy. So, if you are new here, I am Lauren Zabine. I am the founder of LessonPlanToolbox.com, where we help primary teachers master classroom management every single day. It is our passion. We love doing it, and supporting primary teachers in any way that we can. Teachers in our membership get one-on-one access to us, asking their questions, and we provide a very specific plan of action for them. These segments are kind of general, looking and hearing what we're seeing through social media and just different things coming up in our community. So if you were here last week, you know that we talked about what to do with a bully. This week, we are going to cover another important topic. Okay. First and foremost, you are an amazing educator. Today, we are going to dive into a topic that is challenging and incredibly important. We're going to talk about supporting a young student who is being bullied. Bullying can happen in any classroom, even among our youngest learners. It's important to know that. So this week, we're going to share some strategies to help you address bullying effectively, to help you foster some empathy, and to just build that classroom culture where every student feels safe and valued. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing we want to do is understand bullying in young children. This is first and foremost, we have to know the why behind the behavior. So before we can address bullying, it's critical to understand why it happens. When you have children from ages 5 to 8, bullying often looks different than it does with older students. You might see exclusion during play, you might see teasing, you might even see subtle physical gestures. So here are just some common reasons behind these behaviors to pay attention to. These students have limited emotional regulation. Young children may lash out because they don't have the tools to express their frustration or jealousy constructively. They're modeling behavior. Children mirror what they see in their environment, whether it's at home, on TV, or with their peers. So be mindful of that. It's a social experimentation. So at this age, kids are testing boundaries and they're learning how relationships work. You're that guide to help build that piece of the puzzle. The next thing we want to get into is give you some steps, some strategies to use. So first, we want to make sure we create that safe space for our students, right? We want to support the bullied student to ensure that they feel heard and they feel safe. We want to validate their feelings. When a student shares their experience, you want to respond with empathy. For example, you would say, "I'm so sorry this happened to you. It's not okay, and I am here to help you." Then you want to create a comfort zone. You want to designate a calming corner in your classroom that has sensory items, some positive affirmation cards, and maybe some mindfulness activities. This is going to give your students a space to reset and to feel that security. So again, really important when you have those comfort zones that you teach appropriate use so it's not being misused. The next step we want to do is we want to teach social emotional skills. This is huge. Social emotional learning is key to addressing bullying at its roots. So here are some powerful strategies you might want to take note on. Do some role playing. If you're in the community, you have access to the student behavior scenario of the day cards. Use those. Teach students how to stand up for themselves and others. Practice scenarios like saying, "Please stop, I don't like that." Or even just offering support to a peer. Model to them how to do that. Then you want to have a feelings check-in. Start each day with just a quick mood reader or some emoji cards to help students express their emotions. This is going to normalize talking about feelings, and it's going to build emotional awareness, which is so important in our youngest of learners. Use storytelling. You can use books like Have You Filled a Bucket Today by Carol McLeod to spark discussions about kindness and empathy. Then you can follow up with activities where your students reflect on their own behavior. That book is one of my favorites. If you have not read it, put it on your must-read list. The next step we want to do, step 3, is we want to address the bully's behavior constructively. We talked about this last week, so I'm not going to spend too much time on this, okay? Bullying behavior often stems from unmet needs. So to address these constructively, you want to identify the underlying causes and ask yourself, is this child struggling academically? Are there challenges at home? Building the rapport with the student can reveal what the driving force behind the behavior. Then you want to implement positive behavior supports. So instead of punishing the child, recognize and reward moments when they demonstrate kindness or cooperation. For example, you might say, I noticed you shared your crayons today. Great job being a team player. Your words, I promise you, will go a long way. Most importantly, we want to teach repairing relationships. Guide the child to make amends through genuine actions like writing an apology note or participating in like a restorative circle that you would be, of course, the guide in the circle. But have them work on repairing the relationship, especially at these young ages. So step 4 is we want to engage parents and caregivers. This one, so many teachers avoid, but it's critical. Parents and caregivers are vital allies in addressing bullying. Here's how you can get them involved. Communicate clearly, share concerns with parents while maintaining confidentiality, super important. Use collaborative language such as, we've noticed some challenges and want to work together to support everyone involved. You might want to take note of that. Then you want to offer resources. So you can provide materials on social emotional learning. You can include apps, you can include games and activities and books that families can use at home. If you're inside our community, we are happy to share our resources with you. Then you want to strengthen the home and school connections, right? So encourage family discussions about kindness and conflict resolution. Have that be a normal conversation that they're having at home with their child, especially when behavior starts to push the limits at home. Okay? Again, if you're inside our community, so happy to share with you bullying resources. I know a great teacher friend who has a whole program around this. The 5th step we want to consider is fostering that classroom culture of inclusion. So this one, again, is important and is going to change the whole flow of your classroom. Prevention is always better than intervention. That's common sense. So if you can build an inclusive culture, try using some of these strategies. You establish classroom norms. You work with your students to create agreements that emphasize respect and kindness, and you revisit them regularly. It is not set it and forget it. Keep going back to it probably once a week. Celebrate differences. Do activities like a cultural appreciation day or an all about me project that helps your students understand and value each other's unique qualities and what makes them them. You might even create buddy systems where you can pair students with buddies to foster friendships and reduce isolation. Rotate the pairs maybe every quarter to ensure inclusivity, maybe every couple weeks even. But that's a great one. If you've ever done clock partners before, depending on the age of the student, that's another great way to say, okay, go to your 12 o'clock partner and share with them what you had for dinner last night. Super, super simple. It doesn't take any time at all and builds those connections. So keep that in mind. So now I'm going to just give a few more strategies to support the student who's being bullied. We want to use nonverbal signals. You want to create a discrete signal for the bullied student to let you know they're feeling unsafe right now. Then try to incorporate cooperative learning. Use group activities to rebuild trust and foster positive interactions among the students. You become the guide on the side and let them do the interacting. Friendship journals are another great tool. Encourage your students to write or draw about acts of kindness that they've witnessed, and then share these weekly to promote positivity. The next thing you can do is have mindfulness breaks. It's simple breathing exercises or stretches even, where you can reduce tension and improve emotional regulation. Goes a long way. I'm all about incorporating movement breaks into your classroom, not through a Go Noodle, not through a screen. It's you and your students interacting together. The next thing you really want to keep in mind is we want to monitor progress and seek additional supports. Supporting a bullied student is going to be an ongoing process, so regularly checking in with the student and making sure that you're documenting incidents is going to help identify patterns and progress being made. If bullying persists, then you don't want to hesitate to involve counselors or behavior specialists for that additional support. You are a teacher, and there are people who know more strategies on how to support these students. So as teachers, we have the power to shape our students' emotional and social development. By addressing bullying with empathy, teaching those social emotional skills, and fostering inclusivity, we're creating a classroom where every child feels safe, valued, empowered, and will thrive. Remember, even those small steps can lead to big changes. Thank you so much for all that you do for your students every single day. Let's work together to build classrooms full of kindness and connections, and build those cultures of just calmness and peace, and show our students that the world is truly a safe place. Okay, if you are new here, I am Lauren Sabigan. I am the founder of Lesson Plan Toolbox, where, of course, we help primary teachers master classroom management day in and day out every week. If you are inside our community, I know I said this at the beginning, I'm just reiterating it one more time, but if you're inside our community, you get more direct one-on-one support with us for your specific needs. I know and believe there is no one-size-fits-all model in classroom management and student behavior support. Therefore, our community is set up where we provide one-on-one support for our teachers, and it is just a wonderful experience for me to get to share my knowledge, my expertise, after being in education for over 20 years, some of those times as an administrator, the bulk of those times in the classroom, and showing you what works. I've been granted master teacher status in the state of Ohio, and it's one of my proudest accomplishments because I know so many tricks of the trade that I now get to share with other teachers, and it's turning their classroom experience completely around, which is absolutely amazing. So be on the lookout for when our membership opens up again, which will be happening very, very soon. And we will get you set up for success for the end of this school year, and of course into the 2025-2026 school year. Hard to believe that that's like not that far off. So for now, remember, until next week, teach, relax, repeat.